Okie doke. Give me 1 second here to get my headset on properly. It's not very comfortable today, for some reason or another. And let me mute the other computer so we don't get a nice echo going on. It looks like everything is in order. I think everything seems to be working. We'll switch over to our other scene and make sure that's working too before I get started. I did another fantastic job of promoting this particular stream today, which is to say that I did not promote it at all. If you guys have any advice on that, actually, that'd be awesome. I would like to get some more people in the chat and do some readings out of that. That'd be a lot of fun to do those live. Yeah, I've just been kind of posting it on Reddit, and you know, those guys are really good about it, and a lot of good response there, and it's fun. But I do feel like overbearing. I don't know. Whatever. I'm pushing it too hard. It feels like I don't want to spam people. That feels bad. So anyways, we'll find a way forward from that. But today we actually do have a few questions left over from Reddit. I promised however many people came into the thread that I would do their entire year 2017 forecast just for them, just their own forecast. And so we're going to continue doing those today. But yeah, if anyone pops in the chat, we'll give you preferential treatment since you're here and you're live, and you probably got to head out and do whatever it is you got to do. So we'll take care of you guys first, and we'll do the live ones, or the 2017 year readings whenever we get the chance. So, oh crap! I've got the wrong thing open. 1 second, and then we can get started. How do I want to do this? I don't know, YouTube. It's actually a pretty good service for streaming. It's actually pretty good. It works well enough. I had to downsize my resolution though, because apparently my interwebs is crap. I didn't realize that. Not very good upload, but that's what you get with the cheap stuff. So anyways, it looks like everything's working. I've got the other window open, so I think we'll be okay. And you know, it looks like I think it's fine. Good enough. I'm gonna leave that open. Okay. You guys have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm sorry. Maybe I'll take a picture of my little goofy setup, and you can get a sympathetic view as to my uncomfortable seating position. So I think who were we starting with? We were having Flat Earth Fat Girth. Welcome again. I recognize that username. I think I've read for you before. But today we're going to do the 2017 for you, if I remember correctly. It has been 18 days, so I do apologize for that. But, you know, duty calls, and other work must be done as well, so I don't have nearly as much time as I'd like for this, because this is way more fun than most of the crap I gotta do. So let's get started then. I guess we can jump in, and I'll link to this point in the video for you, so you don't have to listen to me set things up and ramble in the beginning. So I guess we can go ahead and shuffle these. So let's take a minute and clear our heads out while we think about your 2017. Okay, we'll do the rooms. Okay. Pretty good. So, the other thing I wanted to get open was a... One window. 1 second, sorry. It just popped into my head. Let's see, let's see. Sing a little song while you wait. Maybe not. Maybe that's more aggravating. Okay. All set. So, let's see where we are. Let's lay these out. We'll do the tarot first, as is tradition. So we've got January. I'm adjusting my knees. I'm sitting on the floor. February, March, April, May, June, July, and we might run out of room. August, September, November. These up. Make some space. Get sloppy. Oops, that was October, excuse me. This is November. And finally, December. Cool. Now we will take our runes. And hopefully we didn't get the blank one. I forgot to remove the blank one again. I just saw that there was 25 in the pile. There should only be 24. The blank rune makes me illogically angry. I hate that thing so much. Just what a dumb concept. It's a letter. It has meaning. Why would you ever think that you could get away with an empty letter or a non-letter? What's the point? That's like the 8-ball. Ask again later, dude. I don't know. Anyways, hopefully it's not in here. We'll find out. So let's start with your month of January. So we'll start at the beginning, which is where we are, and man, are we almost halfway through it almost? Ugh, it's going fast. Anyways, January. We have the Warrior card in the tarot and Issa, the Rune of Ice. So looks like things are a little frozen maybe at the start here. Maybe not sure which direction to take the new year in, or how to get to a certain place you want to this year. Not a problem. I think the key here is probably represented in the Warrior card. This is the Chariot in other decks. But in my deck, it's the Warrior, so he's got the black and the white sword instead of the black and the white Sphinxi that are pulling his chariot. So, anyways, the message is the same. It's a message of controlling opposites to direct you forward, or carve your way forward, cut your way forward. Usually a card of movement and advancement, and somewhat of a warlike nature, but maybe not all the time. Maybe not so much outward conflict, but yeah, that's the key here. So I think that's probably the tone throughout the whole year. Certainly this month is pay attention to the balance of how you are applying your forces. Make sure you're getting enough rest, make sure you're being active when you should be, and that'll help you kind of punch through the ice that's showing up in the rune. And if you are going a little too hard, yeah, maybe take it up, freeze it up a bit, cool down. If you do find yourself overworked or underworked even. So yeah, that's it, I think, for January. Keep a careful balance on that, and really it is I think it is a forward expansion is the other message here. It's not just to sit at home and balance your forces. It's well, how can we gain some ground? How can we get that done? And what would be the best application of personal power to get there? February, sun's up, nice month. That's always a good card. Love the card, sun. And the rune is Iwaz, so it's just the movement again, but this time through kind of partnership. Usually it's thought to be like a horse and a rider, something like this. So yeah, I think February is going to be a good month, illuminated certainly by the light of the sun. Maybe a little warm, maybe unseasonably warm. But overall good, rejuvenating, refreshing. I mean, the sun is shining. That's awesome. Good month, no troubles. You'll be able to see everything clearly, personal goals. If there are any troubles, you'll be able to see a way around them, or a way to fix them, or a way to turn them into a benefit. But the rune here is really a partnership. It's a movement kind of thing, a movement together. So do pay attention to those around you. I think they'll be critical in sharing the sun with them and moving through the sunlit lands together of February. Is not what you really expect in February, being the end of winter there. So yeah, do pay attention to that. Sometimes this rune has connotations with dreams, kind of riding into the spirit world, so to speak. So those might come up too. Do pay attention to dreams. And there might be an actual movement, physical, to somewhere new, a new work location, new living location. I don't really get the feeling that that's gonna be an issue or something that comes up, but just FYI, that has been known to be associated with this rune. So overall, yeah, team up with people and ride onwards. You'll know who your allies are. You'll know who to team up with, and you'll know the way forward together. So good month, probably a pretty productive month, honestly. We got March. Okay, March is an interesting combo here. We have the Rune of Joy and the Seven of Swords, which is an interesting combo to me, anyways, because I'm a nerd. But so let's start with the Seven of Swords. It's to me, it always indicates getting away with something. Kind of a sneaky card, really. Usually it's that picture of that fellow kind of, well, he's stealing a bunch of swords. He stole, 7 swords. And he's holding them like a goofball. He's holding them by the blade, but that's another story. Anyways, he's snuck away with them. And maybe he won them in kind of a gambling game, but it's always kind of a risk card. It's kind of like sneaking into an enemy camp and taking something of theirs, right? Maybe it's playful. Maybe it's a serious theft that you're getting away with. But either way, you will have a kind of luck in this case. You'll be able to get away with a few things. You can kind of bend the rules, I think, a little bit in this month without too much trouble. I think there's a good chance that you'll be able to pull some capers off. So yeah, if you do feel a little risky, if you want to take a couple of risks, it's probably a good month to do it in March. Obviously, don't go crazy. Don't literally steal things. I mean, do as thou wilt, right? But I'm not advocating it. So, that's something to keep in mind. The reason it's funny to me is because the joy rune has come up. So it's kind of saying, to me anyways, that joy will result from this kind of getting away with something. You'll probably take some pleasure in your criminal masterminding. And whatever it is you do get away with and take back will likely also bring you a great amount of joy in and of itself. So if the act of taking it doesn't, the thing itself will. It's interesting because swords are usually the mind too, so you may just be pulling a trick on someone. It might be a kind of verbal getting away with something. So keep that in mind. It's probably, I don't think you're actually going to take some item. I think it'll probably be kind of like, well, a car salesman kind of vibe. Anyway, it's a fun month, an interesting month, so enjoy. Let's move on to the next month. We're in April now. So we have the level 9 shield, which is the 9 of coins or pentacles in other decks. But here we've got a shield. And sorry, I'm looking at the YouTube at the same time. It's really bad form. Anyway, so we have the hail rune Hoggle, so it's disruption. Well, that's kind of okay. So I think what this is saying directly here is things might be comfortable financially, as indicated by the 9 of shields, I guess, in my deck of coins, whatever you prefer. Things are refined, things are comfortable, things are developed. You're kind of enjoying the material things that surround you. Perhaps spiritual work as well. That's been indicated by this card in the past. So But basically, the picture is it's a well done one. It's usually that lady in the garden hanging out with her bird, and she's enjoying the fruits that have grown there. So, luxurious card, kind of refinement, I think I said. So, but then we have the Rune of Disruption come up, the Hoggle. So it's the hail. You can think of the hail, a big piece of hail coming down and blowing a hole in your roof or your crops or your cow or whatever. So, not usually fun, but the good news with this rune, and one that gets often overlooked, is that it's called the ice seed, the hail seed. So it's thought to contain things within it frozen that will emerge when it melts. So even though there's some disruption now, it does result in a new situation. So I would say for this month, pay particular attention to your finances. You might be feeling pretty comfortable, and you likely will be, but there's a real tendency towards disruption towards that. So be aware of any people trying to ask for money, anything that you can see coming up in terms of investment or work or whatever. Kind of take precautions against this, and maybe hedge your bets a little bit. Don't go crazy with that. At the same time, I think it'll probably wind up being for the best. Whatever disruption does arise here will perhaps open your eyes to a new path forward in terms of your wealth or material, not development, but acquisitions, so to say. Yeah, so this disruption might be a kind of an eye-opener as to a new way forward. And then that's about it. Let's go into May. I'm going to yap about that too long. I gotta keep moving. May, we have the King of Earth and the Tyr's rune. He's the god of justice and law and order and self-sacrifice for that order. If you're familiar with the myth, he allowed the terrible wolf to bite his hand off in exchange to allow them to bind him. So that's the story. I'll tell it better sometime. Anyways, King of Earth too. That's kind of fitting, I suppose, for Tyr in some ways, but a real grounded figure, master of money, fully capable of expanding and growing outwards. Not so much to tending to any kind of inner garden or things that have been already grown, but this is the creeping vines that will grow forward and reclaim a field or something. It's an image that comes to mind. So this would be, I think, a good month to again approach your finances, approach your material situation, and really shuffle things around to arrange them in their best form. Yeah, so it's another money month. Be aware of any legal issues that might come up here. I don't see, I mean, it doesn't seem like it's anything terrible, but this rune does have to do with law as well. So make sure, if you are involved in any business or anything like that, that everything is being done by the books, and if it's not, correct it quickly. But I don't think that's the real message. I think it's, you may also kind of, if there was an injustice being done to you in regards to material things, I think that there's a good chance that you will receive justice, that justice will be done and you will come out the victor in that case. And also, don't be afraid to make a little sacrifice here, perhaps financially, to further yourself in the long run. I think that might be a case here. Tyr, again, being the root of, the god of sacrifice to create order and long-lasting things. And the King of Earth together kind of suggests that might be the case. So maybe, hold off on the steak dinner. Put that in the savings instead of a tasty decadent thing. Alright? That's probably about it for May. Keep an eye on your money. Everything's fine overall, but do focus on its growth and furtherance. We're in June now. Woo! June 2017, the High Priestess and Fehu. So it's interesting. Fehu is the rune of wealth and actual, not wealth, it's money. It's quick, it's changing. It changes hands, it changes forms, it's here and gone. It's an active kind of power, but it's a fickle thing, so it's nothing you want to rely on in the long term. It's not not a savings account type of thing, more the checking account. I so anyways, it's funny because we had all this money stuff come up, and it continues the trend, but then something changes. So we have the High Priestess. So I think perhaps, and keep in mind these might be people too. So be aware of any kind of king of earth in your life. Pay attention to them and take their advice, if you will. And this may also be a person in your life. So there'd be a mystical woman approaching you, perhaps, and if not, you may be called upon to kind of take this role on yourself and embody the nature. So, where the magician is an active outward caster of spells, the high priestess is an inward mystic of focus. So it's a look behind the curtain, so to speak, to see what's going on, and generally it's kind of crazy. So, yeah, don't be afraid if you see a couple of things that you might not have thought you would have seen. It is a good month to look inward, of course, and perhaps pick up a meditation practice if you don't already have one. If you do, buckle down and do it even harder, probably. And I think you may be tempted to buy these things. The thing that's coming to my mind is paying for a kind of psychic service or a spiritual service. That's fine. It'll probably do you some good. I don't think it'd be a bad thing during this month. Good advice coming from the High Priestess. But also perhaps money issues have driven you to look within, right? That might be the other thing that we could take away from this. Maybe some worry, maybe some panic, maybe some confusion, or maybe you just want to keep a good thing going. And the answer will be in the High Priestess card. So, yeah, don't be afraid to spend some time pondering the mysteries and kind of letting intuition take over instead of any kind of thought, analyzing and that stuff. Kind of feel it out. Oops, why are we zooming in? Yeah, that's pretty, let's get into July. I'm so sorry. I'm pontificating way too much. I'm sure you're busy too. And we'll get going here. So anyways, July, we have the Potion of Loss, the Five of Cups, and the Odal rune, the rune of inheritance and ancestral things. So right off the bat, I want to say that maybe something ancestral is lost in some way to you in this month. Maybe not, of course, but it also might be the thing that it focuses. So if you're familiar with the tarot, I'll tell you the image that's usually on this card. It's there's a figure. He's standing by himself. He's looking down, and before him he sees the 3 cups that he has, and they're knocked over and all the stuff spilled out. Behind him are 2 cups remaining upright, and we can assume that those are still full of whatever liquids he's been drinking. So, of course, cups are an emotional kind of card. So, while you may be feeling kind of emotionally kicked in the guts, the important thing is to remember, focus on what remains, right? So he's still got those 2 cups. All is not lost, despite how crummy things might be feeling. And it's interesting because, so I know I said that might be lost, but I think this is what's going to save the day, looking at this a little bit more. So, this rune is of inheritance and ancestral things and long-lasting things, long-established things, and they're kind of coming your way or granting you support as they live out their own life through the ages. So, during this month, look, if you run into some emotional trouble, look behind you, look to family things, look to ancestral things, draw strength from your personal past, and I think that'll get you through whatever crud might come up in July. And this might just be the general mood. Nothing necessarily even has to happen. You could just be feeling like, oh, most of my cups are knocked over. It's the crying over spilt milk thing going on, right? So that might be the vibe. Maybe nothing's really that bad, but you just feel like it is. That happens sometimes. So anyways, yeah, that's the moral of this month is look behind you and look to the ancestral things. That'll really pull you through. And you might actually come into some kind of inheritance too, which will help out a lot too. But in an obvious sense, somebody may actually give you an item that has personal meaning or money, perhaps. I don't know. we'll have to wait and see, but definitely past will carry you forward. So, all right, let's get into August. We have a lot of movement going in August. We have Raido, which is the wheel. It's a wheel. It's a cart wheel. The wheel on a little cart, and so it generally means physical kind of travel, but it could be metaphorical. I got to adjust my seating situation here. And we have the King of Wind, who is the master of the intellect, the master of the mind, analytical thinker, logical thinker, really able to cut his way forward through a problem, a mental problem. Not so much an arranger inside, not a definer internally, not that kind of thing. That's more the Queen's duty to maintain the kingdom. Inside, the kings are expanders. So, yeah, you may be feeling like it's time to move on, and probably in a mental way. So don't be surprised if new attitudes start cropping up and you start seeing things differently, and analyzing things differently, and thinking differently, and sharply too. Yeah, nothing's going to be dull here. You'll definitely be able to think and analyze very logically, very cleanly. No real trouble in this month. Kind of a good month. And again, the rune being a kind of moving on into new mental territories. So yeah, don't be surprised if new stuff comes up. It's probably a month of change. It's a good month. I think it's going to be a clarifying month. Overall, yeah, you'll be able to move into exactly where you need to move into. So anything that was perhaps confusing or cloudy, well, the clouds got blown away. A breath of fresh air, so to speak, in your mental life there overall. And again, that might be an actual person that kind of pops up. So if you see anybody like that, if you know any very logical men, and they're giving you some advice, you might want to take it. Let's get into September. September looks like things are doing pretty good. Empire Wall is the 10 of coins. 10 of Pentacles. And to me, it's really connected with this rune. They're both kind of lasting inheritances. So you spend your whole life building something, and then it can support your descendants for years to come, is the idea behind this card. It's the kind of kingdom. Everything's linked up, everything's built. And it's got a long life ahead of it. It'll outlive many, many people. And it will support them throughout its own life. And so that's great. So that's, again, coming up in September. Ancestral things, family things, past things. Still going strong, and still offering their support to you. So don't be afraid to rely on those things. And we have it coupled with the rune Ansu, so this is considered Odin's rune. It's the rune mostly of, well, poetry and word and spoken things, and song and music and lyrics and all any art certainly, but mostly it's communication, and that can take place through art, of course. But so it's kind of an inspiration. It's a clear, unlike right now, your speech will be very well understood. You won't have any trouble getting your point across. And that's usually the meaning of this rune. Clear communication. Open communication. No confusion. No games of telephone being played. Everyone will know what you mean. So it's a good month to get those across. But it's coupled with this kind of ancestral thing. So certainly communication with family will be wide open. I think that'll be clear. You may get a message from the past, perhaps. Yeah, that'll keep you going strong. I wouldn't be surprised if you maybe find an old letter, or you remember something. Maybe have a dream about an old loved one or something like this. That is all within possibility. But again, the focus is on past and family and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's about it. You also may be feeling quite creative during this month. I want to say that too. You might want to write. Might want to make some cool artwork. It's also a good time to focus on establishing your own empire wall, as it were. Your own ten of coins. Think ahead to the future as well, and let the past inform you as to how you want to create that future, that lasting future. So a good month to look forward and back. So the past will allow you to create a future for yourself and for those around you too. A nice month, certainly September. October. It's a hot October. The King of Flame comes up. So he's the King of Wands, King of Fire. A real force of personality. If this isn't you, this is going to be somebody else. This month, real commanding presence might come into your life. Probably a guy. He'll probably be just like this guy, a King of Fire, like a real commander. Just by his own will, really, his own personality. Powerful charisma, and that's enough. It'll motivate people. So if you know somebody like this, yeah, it'll probably be a good idea to listen to them, and kind of jump on board with those projects. You yourself, either way, will be feeling inflamed as well, whether this comes from somebody else around you or you yourself are emitting these flames. It's a willful month. There's a lot of drive, a lot of passion, a lot's getting done. A lot of ground is being made. And it's all protected. The rune on the left here is Algi's. It's the rune of the elk horns. It's the symbol of kind of a divine protection. So, yeah, even though everyone's kind of playing with fire in this month for you, I don't think anyone's going to get burned. I think the element, though hard to control, is in fact under control. Nobody's going to get burned up. It will be ablaze with light and heat, and it's going to be a real powerful month. Yeah, so October, great month to get things done. Go forward, move on, really make a lot of room. And you'll, of course, have the energy and power to get it done, too, I think. And you'll be protected, so, yeah, get out there. October's a nice month. A nice, powerful month for you. November, we have the, we have the Eight of Pentacles, or the wooden shield, the Eight of Shields in my deck, and Bracano. It's an interesting month here, the combination anyways. We've got growth through practice, I would say. Usually the Eight of Shields is an image of a guy. He's got a bunch of little pentacles he's making. I don't know, for whatever reason. He's making them, he's working on his skill through repetition, through honing, and really the perfection that can only come through that practice, through doing over and over and over. So, well, not particularly exciting. It will be a growth. And of course, this Bracano is the rune of growth. It's kind of a feminine thing going on here. A nurturing thing, the secret behind growth. The emergence of a thing from a seed. Right? So, all of that's indicated here. I don't think this is a literal thing, especially because it's tied in to the earth suit, to the pentacle suit. So I think really what this is saying is it's a great time to practice whatever your professional skills are. Brush those up. Actually apply them to. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. Knock it out over and over. The same thing goes with your health, maybe. It might be a good month to start working out. Get a routine. Routine is the key here. Find a nice routine. Fall into it. It'll benefit you greatly. It'll lead to a lot of growth, financially, materially, and spiritually. Ultimately, of course, that's kind of the game we're playing here. So it'll be a nice boon either way. A real growth all around if you get this practice and routine down. So yeah, good month to really focus on that and kind of reevaluate that where you're at. And we end with the Earth again. So, wow, you've got a really earthy year. That's nice. Yeah, and it's all good. It's all good in terms of the Earth element here. It seems like everything's really quite stable, quite powerful, which is nice. So it should be a comfy year in that element, finance and material things. So nothing too bad. Do watch out for the emotions. Anyways, we'll get back to that. Sorry. Let me finish up here. December. Woo woo. The Prince of Earth. So it's going to be a little immaturity coming up here, but not a bad thing. Certainly a lot of drive, a lot of passion, but it's youthful. It's not refined. So there may be some folly at play here, but and we have the rune Lagus, which is the water rune, flowing river. That's the image. So things will be flowing. I think on an emotional level too. I think that'll be nice. I think that'll be good. No blockages. You know, things are well fed. The water is clean in this instance, so you won't have any emotional gunk holding you back. There's no dams in your intuition or feelings. I think everything's pretty wide open. You're feeling good, but it's also tied in with the earth element. So I think things are moving along quite nicely in that regard as well. Looks like the practice will pay off, right? So here you had the Eight of Pentacles and then we have the Prince of Earth, or well, he would be the Prince of Pentacles as well. So, yeah, still youthful though. It's not quite, nothing's finished. I don't want to say that, but there's a renewed kind of energy. There's a renewed flow here, a youthful approach. Yeah, plenty of power again to go around, and kind of expand the kingdom. Although the Prince of Earth is usually, well, he's down to earth. He's not quite as bold as the other princes. I don't want to say that. That's not quite appropriate. I mean, he's getting stuff done, but in a measured approach. I mean, the Prince of Flames would just be out there like, yeah, be charging into battle. The Prince of Earth is more reserved in his quest. I mean, he's still out there getting things done. Anyways, for you in December, it's a good month to focus on, again, financial things and material things and expanding them. You'll be feeling pretty good about it, pretty zealous about it, dedicated certainly to growing whatever it is you have, or getting something new to grow in a new place, in a new location. So you won't be too afraid to expand your influence in these areas. Pretty sweet. Yeah, a good month to end on, certainly. An expansive month. So here's the whole year. Let me get a good shot of this for you. That's pretty good. So yeah, let's recap, shall we? Starting off in January, things are a little frozen up. Not sure which way to go. Keep a good balance between things as you move forward. Don't go too far one way or the other. February, great month. Focus on partnerships. Things will really move once you meet the right people and the right ideas and all that. The sun is up, no trouble there. You'll see very clearly, and you'll work together nicely with others. March, you get away with something, and it makes you very happy. So, yeah, you can kind of push the envelope in March and pull some things off that you might not normally pull off. Where are we? April. April's an interesting month. Don't rest on your laurels. Even if things are comfy, they may not be. There will be some disruption, but it will likely cause you to see things in a new way. You'll be able to pick up whatever was damaged, put it back together probably, and move forward in a new way, in a good way. But don't get too comfortable in April. Something brings you change in April. All right. May, we have the King of Earth. Things are rock solid, very steady. Wise investments. Don't be afraid to make some sacrifice for the to continue this kind of order and to continue what is. All right, any system you have in place supporting you in these material aspects. Yep, keep it going, but don't be afraid to give something up to further that. June, money kind of moves quickly and leads you to look inward to focus on the more mystical side, and we have that come up again in July. So June and July, the focus shifts from kind of material things to perhaps more spiritual things, right? Certainly more emotional things, and intuitive approach forward instead of practical issues. Excuse me, I need more coffee. My brain power is dwindling without it. I'm gonna keep zoomed out here. So we're in July over here. The kind of a poopy month emotionally, perhaps. The focus may be on what was lost, things that have been lost, things that you just don't feel good about. Yeah, you'll tend to dwell on that during this month, maybe. But do remember what you have still that is fulfilling. And I think that'll likely be family things and ancestral things that'll kind of carry you through. Any kind of emotional stuff, you can lean on them for support. August, the winds are stirring again, and things pick up. You're cutting your way forward again. The way it will be to analyze and intellectualize, and really perhaps crunch some numbers, really get some new ideas, new inspirations. Yeah, it's going to be nice. You'll be feeling the wind returns to the sails, so to speak. So even if things were kind of gloomy there, they'll pick back up. And month is September. Goodness, September again. Ancestral things come in. I think they will support you quite nicely. Words from the past, advice from the past comes into play, and that'll carry you forward. What I want to say is, although yes, you can rely on your past, it needs to be furthered into the future. So don't neglect to think ahead, what you want to leave behind, or how you will care for something that has been given to you from the past. That takes place around September time. October, King of Flame. Fiery month, passionate month. Things are going to get done. Things are going to move forward. Orders will be given, and they'll be willfully followed. It's again, the king got a real personality on him, so people are often swept up by it, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this is a perfect idea. Let's all do this." So, if you know somebody like that, great, no trouble. They'll be leading the way. But this may be you. I think this is probably indicating yourself and your attitudes there. Protection, no real trouble. Any enterprise you want to get going in October will likely be safe to undertake. You'll be watched out for by forces and people that love you. So we're in November now. Another financial month. Practice makes perfect. Practice leads to growth. Routine leads to growth. Hone your skills. It's only going to further yourself in this life on a material level, and of course, who doesn't want that? You know, that's taken care of. You can pursue other elemental areas. I hope that makes sense. I hope that's not too esoteric. December, things flow quite nicely, and in a material sense as well. So, yeah, but a youthful approach there too. So, don't be afraid to try a few new things out. Chances are you'll be feeling inspired and driven, and going on a quest for more gold, or things of that nature. Anyway, so yeah, not a bad month to end on. It'll be a good wave to carry into 2018. So that's it. I will leave this shot here. You can pause this. You can ponder this on your own if you're familiar with these with tarot and rune. But that's it. That's your whole 2017 year. And I'm sorry it's a bit late, but these take a while, and I've been very busy with everything. So I hope that was helpful. Flat Earth, fat girth. I do love that. It's funny to me. So that's it. I hope that was helpful. I will link you to this part in the video, so you will have your own little thing here. And that's about it. That's about it. I hope you have an awesome year. I really do. And don't be afraid to make your own fate. It's been coming to my mind lately while I've been doing these. These are forecasts, of course, but they're just the general mood of that month for you. So they're not written in stone. So it's sometimes fun to do things in spite forecasts. I feel, anyway. So yeah, that's about it. Don't neglect your own responsibilities to carve your own future. What is going on with these runes? They're so stubborn sometimes, I swear. Oh, now they're upside down. What happened? I would like to find a way to do that. If anyone's watching, or if anyone's familiar with Tabletop Simulator, let me know if there's a way to get reversals, because I like those myself, but I don't know how to do it on here, so we've had a reversal-free start to this YouTube business. What is going on? Now they're not sticking together. Play nice! I guess some runes don't get along, huh? Alright, let's put these back together. So that was... I took way too long on that. How long did I take on that? Like 40 minutes? Goodness gracious. So I'll go much faster on the other one. Unfortunately. Or whoever is next. Sorry. I'm gonna go a little faster for you. Just because of time commitments and other crap like that. I wish I had infinite time. That would be lovely. But I don't. So, let's set this up then. I will remove that name. Place the next one here, so we know who we're reading for. So, if you are watching this, you can just kind of scrub around and find your name. And when your name pops up, we're focused on you. So we've got what? 20. Oh my God, we got like 15 minutes. I'll go a little over. I'm not that tight for time today, so we can go a little further. And again, if anybody is watching and wants some questions answered, feel free to throw them in the chat, and we'll attend to those first and foremost. Also, I'm wondering about doing this on Twitch. I don't know if I can. I just don't know how many people watch live streams on YouTube is all. And I really want to, I want to answer some questions. So, that's in the future. Right now we are focused on honey flows. Honey flows. And this is another one from Reddit. Very gracious of you. Thank you very much for sending me the request. That's awesome. You're giving me something to do, which is fun. On my Wednesdays off, so very nice. I don't know. I'm just shuffling these. I'm not really focused or anything. I'm just twitching. So let's get started, shall we? So honey flows. If you want to kind of focus on your year ahead, your 2017, while I do, that's perfect. I'm just gonna spend a few quiet minutes pushing the R key on my keyboard and shuffling this deck, and then we'll get started. Okay? Let's do it. Okay, good. The runes. Perfect. I thought I was going to sneeze during that. Alright, honey flows, let's get this going. So, let's do the layout here. We'll start at the beginning in January. Go to the next month, which is February. And then we'll go March. So on and so forth. April, May, June, ooh, June, July, August, September, November. Oops, October, November, December. I always do that. I'm gonna have to forgive my late month dyslexia there. I'm sure you know the months better than I, so I'll let you figure it out. So let's do the runes. January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September. See if we can get it right this time. October, November, December. Alright, we got it. That's the year. Yeah, like I said, I'm going to move a little faster on this one. Just because of time. So, January, Princess of Wind and Perthro. It's the rune, it's kind of a cup or a well. Something's coming out of a container. Some people like to think that this is the birth canal, or the womb. Which is, it's appropriate, I guess, but maybe not always on target. Anyways, the idea is something is coming out of this cup. And there's a bit of luck behind, a bit of a fortune behind it. Chance taking. Who knows what's coming out of this thing? All right, this is the message. So, but it looks like the Princess of Wind emerges. So, I would say that this is a very airy month. January will likely be a month of thinking. Probably playing around with things you already know, kind of reorganizing in a sense, attending to your inner collection of thoughts, attitudes. Not so much expanding them outward or playing with them in the world at large or cutting your way forward into new philosophies, but yeah, a real kind of caring for what is, organizing within. And I think that you will obviously have a lot of luck with that. Some new ideas might arise as a result of taking stock. You may come up with new synthetic forms of things you've been playing with on a mental level already, but overall it's a very mental month, a very airy month. New ideas. You may be given support by the Princess of Wind. That could happen, certainly. So if you know a very thoughtful, analytical, younger lady, certainly don't be afraid to speak with her and hear what she has to say for you. So any advice she might give you, it would be wise to take. If not, you may be doing this yourself. You may also give support and advice to people during this month. You may be called upon to do that. I think you'll do just fine. It's no trouble. Anyways, that's what's coming out. And there's a bit of luck happening here too. So a bit of a grab bag. I'm not sure exactly what you will be called upon to give advice to, but chances are if that hasn't happened already, it will. So that's about it for January. Very airy month, very thoughtful month. And not thoughtful like in the Hallmark kind of way, but like analytical way. The thinker statue kind of way. Thinking, I suppose, is better than thoughtful. So let's get into February. The Empress arises, and we have Thurisaz. So this is interesting. I would say that the Empress will be another person that comes up in your life here. Somebody obviously very, very powerful, very supportive. I mean, the Empress supports the kingdom, or the empire, rather. So, yeah, anyone like that certainly will have your back during this month. And I say that because the rune Thurisaz is kind of a protective rune in a sense. It's also kind of a dangerous. There's a danger afoot, right? So, Thurisaz. Let me explain this rune a bit, in case you're not familiar with it. It's thought to be the image of Thor, flying around, killing the ice giants that threaten order, as it were. Right, so you can almost see that in the rune. There's a wall, and there's kind of an aggressive stance there. It's an actual image of a thorn, too, of course, the stem with the thorn poking off of it. So, while it is protective, it's a very active, it's an attacking kind of protection. And there's a real danger as well. It means giant. It means it's talking directly about the ice giants out there. So it's a protection from them, but it's an active kind of thing. So two things I want to say. The Empress, I think, will likely bring support to you. So if you don't know anybody who's like an Empress in your life, you yourself will want to kind of embody this. So please take careful stock of your own inner kingdom and make sure everything is in order. Make sure you are supporting it properly. Make sure you're growing it properly. This isn't a time to expand outwards. All right, this is a time to kind of build up defenses around what is in February. And protect that, kind of protect the Empress in a sense as well, which is what the rune may be calling for. So do be aware of any dangers outside this month. The forces of chaos are always threatening, Lord knows, so attend to those. Do deflect them. You shouldn't have too much trouble doing that, I think, if you do pay attention. And keep an eye on the Empress. And again, the Empress kind of calls you to take care of your own empire, as it were. Things that are already established, do watch over those. Do not let them fall to the forces of chaos. All right, maybe watch Lord of the Rings and get some inspiration. All right, we're in March already. this is an interesting one. So the this is the Ten of Cups in most decks, so it's that happy little family with the rainbow of cups, and it's very lovely and very, very awesome card to have. What's interesting here is it's connected to the rune Naudes. When the rune of need, it means need fire, which is interesting on another level. So let's approach this in a couple different ways. I'm sorry if I'm grunting into the microphone. I'm stretching. My legs are cramping up. So forgive me for that. Anyways, it's interesting. The rune literally means need fire. You can imagine a situation where you are trapped in the snow and freezing. It's a real need. It's a desperate need. And it's usually granted once you find it. So find a way forward, rather. But something is severely lacking, right? And that's usually the message that rune brings up. Now, it's partnered with this kind of happy ending thing. So my first impression here is that you need some good news. And that's it. And you may have to look for it. You may have to go out and find it. And it may just come your way. But at the beginning of the month, maybe you're like, oh my god. Ugh. Things have been difficult, to say the least. And you're really, really, really craving some good news. You're really craving this happy ending that usually is indicated by this. And I think it's likely to show up as it has here. I think that's the message that's bringing, is that yes, good things are on the way. Hang in there. The other thing I wanted to comment on was this is need fire and this is a water element, right? So maybe you're overly focused on emotional things, intuition things, things of that nature, feelings. A little too focused on the want of the happy ending, rather than the fire that will drive you forward to get it, rather than the will that will push you forward to get it. So don't neglect either. You may need fire, you may need to heat things up, you may need to add some spice to the mix, right? So yeah, don't be afraid to get things moving. Don't be afraid to embrace the fire. Don't be afraid to look at the fire if you are overly focused on the watery kind of feeling indicated by this card. So anyways, yeah, this is what I would say is that the two things. Good things are likely on the way. Hang in there. I know you'll be feeling like you really need them, and you probably will, and they'll kind of come to you. That said, don't be afraid to get out there and seek them out as well. Don't be afraid to heat things up a bit, to put your own will out there instead of just waiting. All right, that's enough. I gotta keep going. It's gonna be another 50-minute thing. So, anyways, we're in April now. We have Eowaz and the Wand of Armor. This one hasn't come up recently for many people. That's interesting. You're very unique in that, then. So this is the Nine of Wands in most decks. It is an inner strength kind of thing. It's a defensive kind of thing. It's an enduring kind of thing. So that might be called upon in this month. You will have the reserves, you will have the strength, anything that's ongoing. And again, we were just talking about fire here, and then the wands come up, which is the element of fire, the suit of fire. So I think that we were right on target with that. So yeah, don't be afraid to get combative a little bit, to get your will out into the world, and you'll be able to here. However, here it's kind of the oops, I think my music stopped. You've been going for that long already? Oh my god. Anyways, yeah, so you may feel kind of surrounded. You may feel kind of under attack. People may be criticizing. People may be trying to naysay or butt in or whatever. But you've definitely got you got things set up. You've got the strength. You've got the defenses up. It is a tough card. It's a changing situation generally. It's a shifting kind of defense. It's not just like, well, I built a wall there, it's done. You'll need to shore things up as they arise. You'll need to keep an eye on what's going on. So you got a lot of irons in the fire, perhaps, and you got to take care of them all if they need care. Now, the rune Eowaz here is a rune of movement. So things will be moving very quickly this month. But it's a rune of partnership as well. Moving together with another, I think, is the best way to express this rune. So yeah, team up with other allied forces and people. during this month. I think they'll make themselves available to you, but don't be afraid to call on them for help. There will be a real, teamwork is the best thing for this, and they'll kind of carry you through the battle. So even if you are under siege in April and you've got a lot going on, you're very busy, there's support. There's support. There's plenty of people around you, plenty of forces around you that will help you through it. And don't be afraid to call upon them. They'll be a huge boon. There's no need to take that on yourself. Let's get into May then. We have the Two of Cups and Uruz. The rune of the giant primeval cow. We'll get into that in a second. So, interesting. You got fire and water coming up here again. Well, dualistic year. So anyways, the Two of Cups is usually the image of two people kind of sharing cups. They've got their arms crossed, they're sharing a drink. Partnership again comes up, doesn't it? So, yeah, be aware of that. Don't be afraid to make some connections. This time more on an emotional level. Some bonding may have occurred since last month. Don't be afraid to let those deepen a little bit, I think is the message here. You make some connections, foster connections that you do have that have already been made. Yeah, don't be afraid to focus on those. Mix things up a little with others. A good month to make some friends and some new alliances, perhaps. But again, this is on an emotional level, so you'll be kind of sharing feelings and sharing thoughts and all that kind of thing. And I think it will lead to and unlock kind of an untapped power, a wild power that you may not have been able to grab yet. So I think you may have seen something in the distance that you perhaps know that you need to get out, claim as your own. Well, now with the benefits that come from meeting and really open sharing with those around you, I think you'll be feeling more confident and more able to go grab whatever it is you need to obtain. So I said that this is the primeval cow, and it actually kind of is. It's an auroch. It was a giant cow that lived in the wilds in Europe a long time ago. They're all dead now, but they were pretty impressive. They were giant, they were terrifying, they were very valuable. If you could go tame one, kind of bring it back. Not tame one, but maybe perhaps harvest one, I suppose is the polite way to say it. So it's a fiery thing, though. It's a wild, raw force that could be applied in your life. So be aware of that in May. If there is anything that you see out there that would be a boon to you, you might not be sure how to grab it by yourself, but I think kind of really sharing your feelings about it and really working together with others will yield a way forward and bring a real kind of power to your life. So, yeah, don't be shy in May. Yeah. Work together with others and share a little, share a few drinks maybe with some friends. Let's get into June, King of Earth and Righto. So things are moving on a financial material level. Things are moving forward. You may actually, I wouldn't be surprised if there was a physical move in this case. Maybe a new house, maybe a new apartment, whatever. Maybe a new job, maybe a new career. All of that's possible this month. And it would be wise to do so, I think, if you do find that coming up, yeah. Evaluate it, of course. Don't just take my advice, but look it over. And if it does seem like a great way forward, and again, the king also is expansive. He wants to grow the kingdom outwards. And this has to do with money and that kind of stuff. So, yeah, a new job, new business, new way forward, new investment, new... if you do have your own business, you'll maybe see a way forward for that as well. Investigate and see if that is a real growth route. See if that's a new trade route, so to speak. So, and it likely will be. This is a wheel. This is the image of the cart of travel. But in this, I just keep thinking like transport of goods, transport of money, forward, outward, and I think that's the key in this month. So yeah. Focus on that. Focus down to earth. It's a down to earth month for sure. Focus on the money, on the career, on the practical things. So yeah, nice month, really. Good month. Yeah, I think that'll be fun. I don't know if there's anything else I can say right now, because I'm in a hurry. But no, I think that's about it. Just pay attention because this might be a person that comes into your life too. With some good advice, some good practical advice. Be aware of the King of Earth in June. So let's get into July. Sorry, anytime I actually stop talking, I'm focusing on the intuitive stuff that's coming out. So, whoops. And I'm trying to play with a mouse and keyboard at the same time, as I'm sure you can see. Alright, so we're in July, so we have the Emperor and Dagaz. So Dagaz is the rune of the dawn or day, but it could be the rune of dusk. And it's cool, you had the Empress come up earlier, so a commanding year, an empirical year. Yeah, nice. Stable, powerful cards to have come up. I love those. Yeah, and they're together in the year, so that's awesome. Anyways, earlier you got that. Mid-year you've got the Emperor come up. Emperor again is similar. He's similar to kings in the court cards, in that he wants to expand the kingdom. He wants to expand the empire. He wants to give orders, get things moving outwards, grow beyond the current boundaries. And we have the rune Dagaz come up, which I think in this case it's more speaking towards the dawn. That's just a feeling I'm getting. It's a daybreak kind of thing. The sun will come over the horizon and shine on the empire and show you the way forward. So you'll know more or less exactly where your forces need to go, what they need to do, how to do it, and they will obey your will, so to speak. So yeah, certainly at work or at business or in your life in general, don't be afraid to let people know what needs to be done, okay? It's a good time to do it in July. That said, there might be an emperor in your life as well. It seems that the advice here will be rather enlightened, just based on the day-breaking rune here. So it would probably be a wise decision to follow kind of any orders given to you by such a figure. Yeah, no real time for democracy in July, though. I think things will suddenly be very clear. Everyone will suddenly see the way, and they'll all be moving towards it without too much. I don't want to carry the turnips. You carry the turnips. Let's have a vote. No. The Emperor's going to come in and just tell that guy, hey, look, you got to carry these. You do something else. And that's about it. So yeah, a good month. Sorry for my weird little story about turnips. I don't know why that's going up, but anyways, yep, good month. Commanding month, a strong month. Either you or someone around you will absolutely be able to give orders and get things done, and you'll know the way forward quite clearly. Oops, flipping that twice. So let's get into August. Oh, this is a nice month as well. An emotional month, though. Leaving the kind of fiery will of the Emperor and getting back into the water. Look at this. What's going on? You've got a strange year. I love this. Not a strange year, but it's very, very interesting. Hot, cold, hot, cold. Fire, water. Cool. Cool stuff. Anyways, August, you've got the Nine of Cups coming up. Nice card. A little smug, maybe. But look, you've got a lot done. You're feeling good. You're feeling proud. All right? And you should. It's okay in this case. Nothing terrible is going to happen if you take some pride in your work. And maybe you get a little smug. All right? It's not a bad thing in this case. I mean, don't get crazy with it, obviously. But you know, look, I think at this point in the year, you've got some things done. You're feeling good about. It's good. All right? Take some enjoyment. And you may actually be given a gift directly. I think that might be it, and maybe that's what you're feeling proud of. Because, so on the Nine of Cups, it's usually that image of a guy. He's sitting in front of a bunch of cups. He's like, yeah, check out these cups I won. Check out all I've done. Check out all I've earned. I'm feeling good. And the rune here is a gift rune, Skabo. So it's the rune of reciprocal giving, giving gifts. So I wouldn't be surprised if you were given something. And that's what you're feeling quite proud about. Perhaps an award, perhaps a trophy, perhaps some accolade of your accomplishments. Or for things you have given, you are given something back. All right, so this, you know, maybe some charity, maybe just work. I mean, maybe you've given your time and effort, and you've done a really good job. You'll be given some reward of some sort or another, and you'll be feeling quite proud about that. So a nice month. You'll get something back. You will have to give something, though. That's the thing with this rune, is it's not a one-way gift. You're not just going to get something. It's going to come from something you've given, or if you do receive it, you'll need to give something back. Otherwise, you're gonna look like a goofball. All right, so be ready for that. August. But a nice month, really. Yeah, good month to kind of look over what you've done and feel good about it. And don't be surprised if you actually get awarded for something, or a gift comes your way for something you've done. Oh boy, we've got bad news. I was yapping about this in the beginning of the stream. This is the blank rune. It is forbidden. It's goofy. I don't know why it's in here. Every time I forget and it comes up, and it annoys me. So we'll draw you a new rune, and we'll flip that over. All right, much better. We actually have a rune. I hate the blank rune. Why? Why would anybody put a non-symbol in the symbol? Anyways, please excuse me. We have the manas with the rune of man. Mankind, not just like a dude. It's a rune of partnerships. The rune of society. The rune of people really getting along, working together. I like this rune a lot, actually. It's interesting to me because it's also two joy runes coming together to form mankind. So it's the joy that arises from fellowship with other people, teaming up, and all the good stuff that comes out of that. I love this. And there's the Lagus, the flowing water rune that's going into one another. There's Gebu. There's just the gift rune, sharing, the reciprocal giving. It's a nice rune. It's one of my faves. Anyways, the bad thing is that you have the nine of swords come up. So that's going to change things a bit. After I was gushing about how nice it is to be around other people, this month it seems like you got some worries about that coming up. So Nine of Swords, if you're not familiar with the traditional art, usually it shows a person waking up in the middle of the night with a bunch of swords over the bed, and they're freaking out. They had a bit of a nightmare. So, not a comfortable card. Worries, fears, literal nightmares are all on target here. It's the Aries suit, so it deals with the mind and thoughts and intellect and perhaps vision at some level. Yeah, definitely. There's some worry here. And since it's tied up with the rune of man, I would say, yeah, maybe those things that I was just talking about are causing you some grief. Maybe there's some bad relationships. Maybe there's some worry in your relationships at this point in time. And they might just be that. I do want to stress that whenever this card comes up, it's usually kind of a dreadful card, so I like to remind people that even though it's a little spooky, it might just be worries. It might just be phantasmal. It might just be thoughts. I know myself and others, certainly, sometimes the mind goes crazy. It likes to just be like, hey, buddy, what about this terrible thought? You know? And it does usually happen at night when you're falling asleep, right? Time to get some rest. Hey, remember that time when you were a total turd? And that comes up and it ruins everything. But it's tied into people this time, so it's going to be worries about relationships and other people around you. Did I say something goofy? Did they really mean this? Did that really get said right? Did that get across correctly? That kind of stuff. And we'll see what comes up next month in October, and we'll really get kind of a thing. We'll get some idea as if this is really a thing or if it's just worries. And I think it's just going to be worries. I don't think it's much. But do be aware of that. That might be a real issue during this month. You might be feeling kind of bummed out about these things. So really try and find your way, cut your way through the illusion, and see if there really is a problem that needs addressing, and if there is, address it, and really restore the bond that normally is indicated by this rune. But if there's nothing there, I mean, take it for what it's worth, and understand yourself a little better in your own mind. And cut through the nonsense that sometimes throws at yourself and all of ourselves. All right, that's enough about that. Let's get into October. October, okay, right off the bat, it's gonna be a busy month. And look at this, we're back to fire, aren't we? What is going on? This is the only weird month out, January. October, busy month. Wand of Burden, 10 of Wands. You got a lot on your plate. Maybe too much, all right? Really, whenever this card comes up, I do advise people to take a good look and make sure that you're carrying exactly what you need. Do not carry any extra things. It's going to be busy enough. It's going to be hot enough. You don't need to take on extra stuff. If there is anything you can put down, consider it. Consider leaving it behind. Now that said, you may actually be needing to carry this much. You may need to be taking on this much. It might be necessary for the time. It might just be a busy time. You might have to just get through it. It's going to be tough. But remember, usually this card is, you kind of burden yourself with things, right? This is all for your benefit. This is all for your will. You kind of wanted this situation to come up. So be careful what you ask for, because sometimes you get it, a lot of it. So be aware of that. Now, the rune Berkano is the rune of growth, fertility in some cases. I think that in this case, I think, look, all the stuff you're going to be taking on will be good for you. It will grow. It will result in a nice harvest in the future. It's going to be a little tough in the meantime. Going to be a busy month in October, but it will definitely be worthwhile. Definitely be worth the effort. So yeah, don't shy away from the hard work. Don't shy away from taking on a lot during this month. It'll really reward you. It's a nice combination here. That's probably enough. Yeah, I think that's good. I think that's good. I don't want to mislead anyone here. So that's good enough for October. Busy, beneficial. It's going to lead to a lot of growth. And look at this. What is happening? You have an interesting 2017. Firewater. That's crazy. That's really cool, though. Hot, cold. So you're going to have a busy month and then a cooler month after. So if you do freak out a little bit during October, don't worry too much. It'll cool back down in November. A depth will return. The cooling waters fill things back up again. And we have the Queen of Water, so she's very, very concerned with the, again, the inner kind of kingdom, the inner domains. She's a master of them, a master of attending to what is already. And again, these are the emotional and intuition things heralded by the cups and by water. So we also have the rune of, well, it's kind of the rune between worlds, right? It's a tree, is what it's known as. And then you can see the I guess these would be the branches, the stem, and then the roots, yeah? It's also kind of a rune of surrendering to a situation. I know in the mythology, Odin himself hung on the world tree, and it also has connections to the hanged man. So it's kind of a calling to give in and explore both above and below. Whatever's happening, it's happening, more or less. And the best way is to just go straight through it. Let it run its course. Move up and down. Expand. Just kind of go both ways, and you'll take root. And you'll have a nice canopy up top, to keep with the tree metaphor. Anyways, it's a watery month too, so yeah, it's going to be an emotional time. Some things may come up. You may have to explore on an intuitive level, on an emotional level. You're not going to be thinking your way through this. You're going to be feeling your way. So it's yeah, it's a good month to pay attention to dreams. It's a good month to pay attention to the feelings, the vibes, the whatever, you know. That kind of, I don't know any more words. So that's the general thing going on in November. A good time to relax, a good time to reflect, a good time to introspect. Queen is very good at this, and I think you will be too in this month. Again, the Queen might be a person in your life. If you are kind of going through some weird stuff, if you're feeling stretched both ways at once, having trouble relaxing that position, it's not comfortable. Yeah, if you know anybody like the Queen, ask her for advice. She will definitely help you out. She'll be kind of a mystic, older lady, perhaps, and she'll be able to give you advice. A lot of support, a lot of emotional support, certainly. But it's definitely a good month to take a look inside, kind of pull back, kind of calm down and dive deep, and get at the root of things so that things can move up and beyond. So, yeah, interesting month, November. Certainly a different feeling from your October, that's for sure. And nice ending in December. that's good. Things are going to be quite balanced. There will be a little bit of a challenge. I want to talk about that first. So the tough part here will be the balance of opposites. And not just the balance, you'll be kind of called upon to unify oppositional forces, I think, in December. Usually that's what this card is hinting at. So, you know, and that's interesting, thinking about it now, is all this fire and water. I think you're going to have to stop that. You're going to have to combine those. You're going to have to find a more balanced, nuanced approach. And I know it's not going to be easy to put fire into water and have them turn into something else. It'll be a challenge, yeah, for sure, but that's what you'll need to do. And I think you'll do it quite handily, as it were. And this is in December. So the end of the year, you've had experience with both throughout. Heat, cool, will, emotion. It's just been going on like crazy. So here, you've got the two potions. You got to mix them together. You'll turn them into one new thing. And this isn't necessarily just like, well, I got fire on one hand, water on the other. No, they're going to have to come together. They're going to have to work. You got as a new thing, a entirely different thing, synthesized. So that will be your big challenge in December. But yeah, you've had enough experience to get it done for sure throughout this year. 2017's been an oppositional year. No trouble there, and it's the reason I don't think there's much trouble is this rune here is Yara. It's honestly, it's perfect to come up here. It's the rune of change. It's the rune of season. It means year, Yara, and it's right at the end of the year, isn't it? It's in December, so things change, things cycle through. Old gives way to the new, and well, that'll be the case here. I mean, the old two-handed approach here turns into a new thing. So that's awesome. A lot of mixing to do. You're gonna have to kind of marry your intuition to your will, and that's tough to do, but they need to be blended better. So find something that drives you, your passion, and tie that into something that feeds you emotionally as well. Something like that. Let's recap, shall we? So we're starting in January. New things, new ideas, new thoughts, kind of taking stock going on. Evaluating thoughts you already possess, attitudes you already possess. Some new things might arise out of that. A nice month, a nice gentle, kind of breezy month. Nothing too crazy going on. February, kind of safeguard what is. Safeguard the Empress, so to speak. Help things that have already been established to continue. Keep them growing. Focus on them and keep them safe from outside harm or attacks. And I think they will be naturally inclined towards that, but you may need to pick up Thor's hammer and smash some ice giants yourself, which will be fun. So, enjoy. March, the weird fire-water thing starts going on. So, the opposites begin in March. Really, I think you'll probably have kind of a nice situation emotionally here. I wouldn't be surprised. If you don't, you'll be really, really wanting one. Either way, I think that's the focus. It's that kind of happy ending, security thing. Yeah, I get the feeling that that's not quite set up yet, and you'll be looking forward to it. And you'll need it. You'll need the will too. So this is great. This is where it all begins. You'll need the fire, and you might have the water already, but I think that's something you're looking forward to. In this case, the happy ending. Emotional fulfillment, but you need the fire too. So anyways, March is where it begins. Buckle up. April, the fire takes over. Things move quickly, things move well. Partnerships key, and kind of defending again, right? So don't be afraid to protect what you are working on. Chances are you got a lot of projects going on, you got a lot of things happening all at once. Going to be busy. You're going to have to run around and defend them as they need it. You're not going to be able to set up a wall and protect all things at once. You're going to have to be, oh crap, over here. Oh, over here. Oh, oops, over here. I forgot about that. Keep busy. Keep moving. You won't have any trouble doing it. May, water takes back over. And it's a partnership kind of month again. Really, don't be afraid to share some emotional things with others. That'll make some nice bonds. I think you'll make some kind of lasting friendships, and it will allow you to claim hold over this kind of fiery force, this wild, untamed, creative power, right? So again, we've got the emotion and the connection between others, yielding kind of a mastery over the fire. Already, you're starting to blend it. We didn't even know this was coming up, but there it is. Let's get into June then. June, King of Earth, Rido, a nice financial month. Focus on that. Maybe a change in career, jobs, all that kind of stuff, or an advancement in them. I think that's more correct. Be ready for that. Promotion, expansion, all those kinds of things in the material level. All right. Emperor in July, another kind of fiery guy, and Dagaz, the sun, fiery sun. I think this is a dawning, a new way forward, an illumination of sorts. No darkness really at work here. Either way, even if it was dusk, you'd still have light. So, and the Emperor again, commanding outwards power. So an expansive month, and coupled with the King of Earth just before that, that trend continues. A lot of willpower, a lot of orders. If you do need to give orders, they'll be given and they'll be obeyed, so to speak. So nice month there. August, we've got water returning with the 9 of Cups and a gift. So don't be surprised if you get recognized for your hard work and your efforts, and that will emotionally satisfy you. You may actually feel a little smug, which is fine. Don't worry about it. Enjoy it. And a gift. So be ready to give a gift too. You're going to have to give something back. You may have already given it, but you may be called upon to give at this time. September. Air comes up, fear, kind of worries, kind of nightmares, dread perhaps, about relationships with others. Again, keep in mind this might not be real. These might just be nightmares, they might just be fears. But do take some time to evaluate and think about it. Make sure everything is on target, of course, and if it's not, try and remedy that. But I think in this case it will just be a month that you're kind of concerned about how things were expressed, communications with others, and hopefully they're all on target. October, busy. All of it's probably necessary. Whatever you are taking on, whatever you are busy with, it may feel a little bit overwhelming. Keep in mind that it will yield growth. It is worthwhile. All right, so keep pushing through, keep slogging through it. You'll have plenty of fire to get it done, even if it is a little overwhelming, even if things are burning too hot. The warmth really does yield some big growth. It will nurture things, as it were. November, again, water comes back. Time to go deep, time to go within, time to introspect, and time to feel your way forward and really focus on your emotional needs and health at this case, especially after that hot month. It's time for a nice dip into the emotional world again. And don't be afraid to dive deep. Don't be afraid to kind of surrender and see what's down there or up there, whatever way you want to swim in. Also keep in mind, I think this will probably be a person. It will offer some good emotional advice and support, so be on the lookout for them. And December, time to mix those bad boys. Time to mix up the fire and the water into one new thing, and that will keep you a lot more balanced and a lot more empowered going forward. You won't be torn in two directions anymore once you get this thing mixed up. So find something that's emotionally gratifying and expansive in terms of your ambition and will. You'll want to kind of marry those together. And I think you will do so quite swimmingly. Keep the water theme going. Another thing, one final note that I noticed when I was going over this again, is you do have these other elements kind of coming up over here on the off cycle, right? So everything's represented here. Yeah, mostly fire and water. But then you get these little breaks where you kind of, oh yeah, that's right. My material needs. Oh, that's right. My intellectual needs, you know. So interesting year. And then it all comes together into one shiny new thing. So great. Yeah, great year. 2017. Pretty exciting for you. I hope that was helpful. Honey flows. I hope that was helpful. Feel free to send me a comment if you want anything clarified. I tend to ramble incoherently on these. I've only had one pot of coffee, so yeah, get a hold of me on well, where you got a hold of me in the original point, or you can get a hold of me on this video in the comments. I'll find those there as well. We can kind of go over that. Yeah, any questions, whatever, get at me. I hope it was helpful. I'm pausing it here, or you can pause it here rather, just so you can get a good overview. If you're familiar with these things, you can do your own interpretations, your own reading, and see if you agree with what we came up with today, or if you think something needs to be changed. Whatever. Hope it was helpful. And that's about it. I do hope you have a good year, though. I hope everyone has a good year. 2017 looks like a pretty good one. We've been having some interesting stuff come up. I think it was last time I did a few of these for some people. And it was strange because they were getting very similar things at like the same time of year. I think it was March that looked a little chaotic. They were getting some rough stuff coming up in March. And then in the year-long reading I did, just for the year in general, no one in particular, I think it was later in the year, around summertime, July, things got a little weird there. I think the devil came up, so yeah, should be a fun year, but no troubles for you there, Honey Flows. Yeah, good time, still a fiery time. Busy but nice. I'm excited. That was a really cool year. I'm gonna put these up, and I'm gonna check a few things, and we'll see where we're at. So we'll get a nice little view here. By the way, guys, if anybody's watching, or if anybody is interested, you can get this deck. This is a real deck. It's a physical copy is what you can get. It's standard tarot. It's based on RPG stuff. I don't know. Old Nintendo RPGs. I'm sure if you've been watching this video, you've seen the artwork. You get a pretty good idea of what it's about. But it is a real deck. You can order your copy now. And I will say, the new copies are looking good. They've got UV coating, so they're very shiny, very sexy. And they're made out of linen paper now. So they're much stronger. And they're real deal. So pick a copy up. I think they're about $30 right now. The link is in the description, and it should also be scrolling on the screen itself. So we've got this little wizard casting some spells on it, I guess. I don't know what he's doing. So yeah, guys, pick that up. I've also got another I Ching deck available. Very nice artwork. What is his eye doing? Oh. He looks crazy to me. No, he just looks crazy all the time. He looks a little less crazy here. Something is up with that eye. Not the belt. Let's look at the eye. I do love the tunic look. That's so cool. Hope that comes back. Nah, he just looks kind of drunk here. And then he's like, oh my god. I don't know. Goofy fit. Oh, now he's getting a little aggressive. He might be a drunk wizard. Let's have him cast the spell. So anyways, guys, yeah, that's a real deck. You can pick that up. I've got the I Ching deck to check that out. Also, in the description below. And if you guys want a more detailed reading, I'd be happy to do that. You can go to hexandrye.com and order one from the store there. And I'll do a nice little write-up for you. Take some pictures. Or I guess we could do it digitally too now. I should update that. Whatever. Whatever you guys like. So that's about it for today. I'm kind of blown out by the year-long forecast. Those take quite a bit of thought and work. So I'm very lazy. I will call it there for the day. I don't think we have too many year-long forecasts left. What do we have? We've got 2 more. So I guess I'll get those next week. Unless we get some more questions, and I will try to promote the one next week. So guys, if you do have any questions, these are always free on Wednesdays. It's free advice day, free reading day. So get in here, get them done. It's a lot of fun. So I will let you guys know a little bit ahead of time next time. But it is always on Wednesdays at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. That's when I'm doing this. So feel free to stop in and throw your questions out. Is there anything else I want to say? I'm going to end it here today for sure, though. I'm tired. But I think that's about it, guys. Thanks a lot for the questions. Flat Earth Fat Girth, thank you. And Honey Flows, thank you very much. And I guess I'll catch you guys next time. Until then, be well. Have a wonderful week. And 2017. Bye, guys.